bread, buying Jack Link's jerky and a carton of Marlboro Reds. All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Hunter Thomas Mounce. This is episode 10, I believe. Today we have my friend Allie Holden, and this is a new friend of mine. I just met her. A couple things about Allie. So she is from Nashville, Tennessee originally, and she's a musician, and that is like what we call a unicorn in Nashville because that never ever happens. Everybody moves from some other state to come to Nashville. Allie started singing in church from about 5 years old. She was in an alternative duet band for a couple years. Did a couple internships at a couple record labels, and she stepped away from music for a brief time period, but now she is back and stronger than ever. So I'm really excited to get to know Allie a little bit better and introduce her to you guys. So with that, Allie, say hi to everybody out there watching.
Hello. I'm Allie. Like you said, I'm a Nashville native, which is kind of rare.
It is.
So
I was going to ask you, what was it like growing up in Nashville? Because everybody that I know who lives in Nashville only knows it in the past like year or two kind of thing.
Growing up in Nashville, I mean, I didn't really recognize that like music was all around me, and like my church has a bunch of people in the industry, and it was just kind of weird. Like growing up, I didn't really think of it much, and now I'm like, it's everywhere. Mm-hmm. And like if I go and visit other people in different states, they're like, yeah, we don't have that there or whatever. So I mean, growing up here, it's really cool because in high school, I did an internship at a label and didn't realize how many connections there were. And so it was really neat because I was one of the only ones from my high school that stayed here to do music. And so like everybody moved out of state, and that's why it's rare to find someone that is from here.
For sure. Did you go to Belmont, or where'd you go to school?
Trevecca.
Okay.
So it's a smaller Christian school in Nashville, but
over there off of Fessler's Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the size of my high school almost. Like, you know, everybody there, and it's like a smaller Belmont. Like my professor my freshman year, because I did music business my freshman year, and then I switched to business management. But my professor also worked at Belmont, so he was working at Trevecca and Belmont, and it was the same material that he was teaching. Really? So it was like a little bit cheaper than Belmont.
Probably a lot cheaper.
Which was nice. So still got the best out of it, and it was fun.
So was your degree in like, was it like, what was the name of your degree?
Business management degree.
Okay, business management. Gotcha. Do you feel like those classes, do you feel like you learned a lot from that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. Great school. And really small. Like, I think my biggest class had 40 people in it.
Man. Okay. So
it's pretty small.
Yeah. That's really small then.
Yeah. My smallest class had 15. Okay. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. So you started singing whenever you were about 5 years old. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you did a different genre of music for a really long time. Mm-hmm. You were in you said like an alternative band? Mm-hmm. Okay. So can you kind of walk me through what it was like to be in that band? Kind of like what was y'all's routine? Did you stick around here? Did you go all over? What would you do?
We mainly stuck around like Franklin area. So that's where I'm from. It's about 20 minutes south of Nashville, and there's a lot of like great venues there that people actually like intentionally go to rather than the Nashville bars. It's like you're going to drink and stuff like that, and just like the music's in the background. But in Franklin, we had like actual shows that people had to get tickets to and stuff like that. But being in that band, we were practicing every single day for like 5 hours straight. And
every day?
Every day. I mean, it was my like end of high school that I was in this band, and we were trying to write some songs, and it was like a duet. The girl that I was in this band with, she's still in this band and she's doing really well. But alternative music was fun for a little bit, but it wasn't really my style. So I was still trying to like find where I fit best, and so I feel like I have a country voice, not really the alternative style, so very different, I guess.
So I got a bunch of questions now. So how old are you? How old were you when you were in this band?
I was about 17, 18.
Okay. And you were putting in that many hours. So were you still in high school at this time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So were you putting all your time into this? Because you said you're practicing 5 hours a day. You probably couldn't hold it. You probably didn't have a job at that point, or what? Or did you?
I did have a job, but we would practice like late nights. So it wasn't like, it was mainly in the summer that we would practice 5 hours, but during school time we would practice like 2 or 3 days out of the week and practice from when we got out of school till like midnight.
Okay.
So it was more crammed, I guess, if that makes sense. But
you found a way to make it all work.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's good because, probably looking forward now, you realize that, like, you have to balance so many different things whenever you're trying to be a country artist.
Yeah, for sure.
So, let's see here. What made you transition over to country? Was it just strictly because of your voice, like you said, or was it that something you always wanted to do?
Alternative music was fun. Just like, it was more like a rock style, and so it was fun to like perform on the stage and all of that, but I was so uncomfortable that like you could see that I was uncomfortable on stage. And then my parents noticed that when I'm like playing in my room or whatever, some country music, they realized that I showed a lot more emotion and like I actually felt a connection with the music. And so that's how I kind of started country. And I grew up listening to country, and like my favorite kind of music is like 2000s country.
Okay.
And so I've always loved that, and it's very much my style. But yeah.
So who are some people that you really like to listen to?
Oh.
That's a hard question because it's like anytime I get put on the spot with that question, I don't know. I'm like, I suddenly forget.
Yeah. I would say Sarah Evans and Chris Young are kind of my favorites. Easton Corbin, Alan Jackson, that kind of Gretchen Wilson. Gretchen Wilson's
heck yeah,
good.
I loved that era, the early 2000s for female country. Like I loved a lot of that. Jody Messina had some absolutely awesome songs. Loved her stuff, and then some early Dixie Chick stuff I liked a lot. Mm-hmm. And I liked Faith Hill's older stuff. So yeah, that was definitely a good time.
Yeah.
Is there anybody modern that you like listening to?
Modern, I really like Maddie and Tay and Ernest, Morgan Wallen. I'm trying to think of like other female artists because I don't really listen to a bunch of female artists in today's country because I feel like all of them sound the same. But Tennille Arts is one of my favorites. Not really sure who else.
Yeah, it's all good. There's a lot of I like a lot of the Texas stuff, so it's kind of like what I'm liking right now.
Yeah.
But okay, so you took a couple years off of music, and then now you're back, and it seems like you're hitting it really, really hard. What has it been kind of challenging to jump back into it, or has it been easy, you think?
I would say both. It's definitely hard to get gigs, just because you don't realize that there's so many very talented artists that are still trying to like get their name out there. I've gotten DMs from a bunch of people that are like, how did you get a songwriter around? Like,
really?
Yeah. And I'm like, I just reached out to them, but I had to reach out to them like 2 months in advance to get around and all of that. And so it's really hard for like someone that's new to get in right now because especially after COVID, everyone's like, oh, I want to pursue music now that like bars are open and it's more flexible, I think. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely hard that way. And also like with social media, TikTok especially, the algorithm, you have to hit it perfectly.
Yeah.
Which is hard, but I always scroll through and I see like all of these talented artists, and they've got like 2 likes.
Yeah.
And then there's people that they're good, but they're not as great as the people that have like.
Well, and you're just curious, like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
You know.
For sure. I mean, it's definitely hard for someone new, or someone that's trying to get back into it, because you had your moment back then and trying to get back into it. It's like, are you gonna stick with it this time, kind of thing. Like, a lot of people are like, are you gonna like put music out? And I'm like, I'm trying to. It's money is hard, like,
very,
especially like in the music industry with producers and stuff. People don't realize that you have to put all this money into it and you barely get any money out of it.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I will ever break even, if I will ever recoup the money that I've spent on all that stuff. So that's definitely relatable. I also did not realize that it was that difficult to get writers' rounds and stuff if you're if you're kind of starting fresh like that.
Yeah.
So I'll be sure to include you in some stuff we got coming up, and make it, because that's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially since you grew up here. It's like, man, I live here.
Yeah.
Why don't
Yeah, I went on a date with one guy, and he's in the music industry, and he's successful in that, and he pretty much told me, like, yeah, you only have 10 years to live here if you're going to pursue music. If you don't succeed in that 10 years, then, like, good luck. But I'm like, I've lived here my whole life. I've lived here for 21 years, and...
Where did he get those stats?
I have no idea. But I'm like, it's kind of stressful, because it's like, how do you get your name out there in 10 years?
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it is either. I'm trying to prove him wrong.
Yeah, that's one of those things where, like, you can point to a lot of cases where it's like, okay, well, this person didn't make it in the first 10 years. This person didn't make it in the first 10 years, and then they move back home. But it's like, I don't feel like there's any evidence for that. I don't know, though. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be worried about that.
Yeah.
And you're what, 23?
21.
21. Yeah. So yeah, you got nothing but time. I feel a little bit more stressed than you do because I'm 28, but I feel like even that's not that old yet.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, there's people that succeed later on in life, and it's just timing is crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like it's cliche to say, but definitely there's timing for everything, and meant to be and all that kind of stuff. So.
For sure.
Yeah, we just got to keep at it. So funny story for you. The way you probably know half of this story, but the way I heard about you, my friend back in Missouri, like, was sending me clips of you singing on TikTok. You know what I'm talking about at all?
Tristan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old Tristan Moreland from Edgar Springs. Yeah, he's like, man, you've got it. She's so good. You have to, like, get together and write a song or whatever. And then I ran into you about a week or two ago. I was playing a writer's round at Standard Proof Whiskey, I think is what it's called. And yeah, I was like, it's kind of awkward, but I walked right up to you and I was like, are you Allie? So
yeah, I was like planning on getting there a little bit earlier because he had messaged me on TikTok and he was like, you need to meet him. I was like, I would love to, and then I didn't get there until a little bit later, and so I was like, I don't know if he's still here or not. And then you came up to me. I was like, okay, good. Like, perfect.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those things where I saw you and I was like, I think that might be her, but man, it's probably not her. But then I thought in my mind, I was like, I wouldn't randomly think that somebody is you, so I'm just going to go ask.
Yeah.
So that's how that went. That's funny.
That is funny.
So have you, what's kind of your day-to-day been looking like? And also, are you doing music full-time or are you doing something else? As well.
So the month of June, I'm trying to like focus like mainly on music. So I work for my dad and my uncle, flipping and renovating houses.
Hell yeah.
So they own a business and they're twin brothers. It's kind of like Property Brothers. But it's really cool. I started working for them like a year ago, and both of them want me to pursue music, but they're like, if you need a job, like, you're welcome to work with us, and which has been nice. It's been like a backup plan. And if music doesn't work out, that's going to be like my kind of backup plan where I'll take over their business and do that. Because I love working in the shop and stuff like that. I love building things. It sounds so weird. I'm a blue collar girl.
You're probably better at that stuff than I am. I don't do that stuff very often. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I know any women right now who are doing. Yeah. I just thought that was really cool. That stuck out to me whenever you sent me like some info.
Yeah.
But are they keeping pretty busy with that?
Yes.
Really?
I mean, they've been doing it since before I was born, and they've had this business and it's grown. They do a lot of work in like Belmead area, which is really cool.
It's a nice area.
Yeah. And so I've enjoyed it because I get to go into all of these houses that are like, they look older on the inside, but they're like huge and beautiful. And then they're like, we're going to take out all the walls in here. And it's like, okay. And then you get to see it kind of like shape into something more modern or like that fits the house. So like we did a project recently that was kind of like a colonial looking house, it was beautiful. And they painted the outside white, and it's got like
hang the little red, white, and blue banners from the
yeah.
dam.
Yeah. And so we worked on that house, and we went into the kitchen, and I mean, nothing made sense. Like the way that everything was put together, the fridge was just like kind of off on a weird side, and like was not functional really. Like there was a door that you had to close before you could open the fridge, so it wasn't functional. And so we went in and we tore all of it out and redid the whole kitchen, and it's beautiful. But it's really neat. But we didn't like make it too modern. We did it to like match the house, which was really cool. But
I was gonna ask you, so that area, Belmead, for those of y'all watching, so Belmead, Tennessee is like, it's a bunch of old houses, a lot of old money, which means like some of like the wealth goes all the way back to the Civil War. I was gonna ask you, what is like maybe the oldest house that you've been inside and done some work on? Because there's some old houses. I see them when I'm driving by. But you think 1800s? Some of them? Possibly,
yeah. I would say so. It's really neat. I mean, there's new builds in Belmead, but I would drive by some houses, and they would be up for sale, and I would go on Zillow and look at it, and it's like the inside is just like so like antique-y and really neat to look at, but they're going up for like $14 million, and it's like a lot of money. It's like I would love to go in there and like kind of make it match the outside of the house but more modern, but it's like I don't have $14 million to just buy and then renovate that. So it's really cool. Damn. It's really cool.
That's awesome. I can tell how passionate about it that you are too. So that's cool.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it was my dream job. Like music and construction are both my dream jobs. If I could do both of them, I would. But music takes up a lot of time too. So yeah. One of my actually.
Circling back to the comment I made a little bit ago, one of my best friend, his wife Emily, they're both construction management. Mm-hmm. So she's another gal I know who's really really into this stuff. Yeah, so that's awesome. Have you been writing any songs or anything?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. I have all of June booked up, like from 11 a.m. to like I have a write starting at like 6 o'clock at night that'll probably end at like 2 in the morning.
From 6 to 2?
Yeah, so I like to finish the songs, and if it takes a little bit longer, then it'll be like 2 in the morning, and then like to perfect it and all of that, make it sound really good.
You've sat in a write for 8 hours straight? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
I did the song that I'm wanting to release this summer. I don't know if you've heard it on my TikTok, but it was Checkmate. So I'm wanting to release that one. We wrote it on Easter, and it was me and 2 other guys, Eamon Owen and Max King. Okay. And went over there at like 8 o'clock and started this song. But we like ate dinner and all of that. We've figured out that we've got to have a good meal before.
It's a whole process.
So 2 of the songs that I've written with them, if we eat a good meal before, we know it's going to be a good song coming out of it. So we had steak and like potatoes and stuff like that right before we wrote this song. And it's one of my favorite songs that I've written. And I'm like, if we have full bellies, then we know it's going to be a good song.
I was going to say, I'd be laying on my back during that, right, going, oh, what's the next line?
Yeah, I mean, we just went through it, and I think I left there at 2 in the morning. And
jeez.
I mean, I love that song, but it took a while. But we were also, like, checking in on the steak and stuff like that, and, like, cooking at the same time, which I can multitask and love that, but...
Sounds like it's more of like an experience and more of an event for you. Yeah. I can honestly say I've never stayed in a write for 6 or 8 hours. Usually at 4 hours, if we're not getting close, I'll just call it.
Yeah. I have a lot of unfinished songs right now because people will plan for like a 3-hour write, which, I mean, is great, but I think most of the time when I'm writing with other people, it's trying to figure out what you're going to write about, what the hook is going to be. And so that takes a lot of the time and like what the melody's going to sound like and what's catchy, what sticks in your head a little bit more. So I think that takes up a majority of the time. And then once you throw out the chorus or whatever, you can pretty much figure out everything else. It just takes a majority of the time to figure out what you're going to write about.
Well, and every single time it's different too. Like sometimes the whole song can take like 30 minutes to write. Mm-hmm. And then other times, in your case, like 8 hours. Yeah. And then sometimes you get hung up on the simplest thing, and then sometimes you get hung up on the last line. You know, it's like you never, for me anyway, I never really can figure it out, like what it is. It's such a mysterious thing to me.
Yeah. I mean, I've written a song in 13 minutes, and it was my very first song that I wrote, and the first song that I've ever pitched to someone, and he was like, just change the chorus, and I want to give you an award for it. And I'm like, I've known this for like 5 years. I'm like, I don't know how to change the chorus, but it sticks in my head. Cause it's
you always think of, because it gets ingrained in you, and then you can't think of how to write something different.
Yeah, and so it's very difficult, but at the same time, it's like, I threw that out in 13 minutes, but it's stuck in my head, and when I show it to other people, it gets stuck in their head, so I'm like, do I change it?
Okay. Well, I want to see if it gets stuck in my head. Also, how do you know it took 13 minutes? Did you have a stopwatch or what?
So me and the girl that I wrote it with, it was the girl that I did the duet with. So we decided we were going to pull up the voice memo thing while we were writing it, because we were like, if we have a good idea thrown out there that we want to write some other time, like we'll have it in this voice memo rather than like trying to type it all in at the same time. And so we didn't do notes or anything like that, Google Docs, like I do now. And so we were just kind of going off of the voice memo. And so I was like, all right, let's write. And it took us 13 minutes. And then we were at like this band camp, I guess, called Camp Electric. And it was at Trevecca. And it was back in like 2016 or 2017. And we wrote this song, and we were like, let's go play it on the front steps of the cafeteria, just because like everyone was playing their music, and so we were like, oh, this would be fun.
Wait, other people sit in random spots on campus and play?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so it was cool to listen to everybody's music, but we went and we were just like playing this on the front steps, and we had a good amount of people like come and listen to us, which was kind of cool because it wasn't around lunchtime or anything like that. But there was a producer that was like teaching one of the classes at this camp, and he came up he posted on his Instagram, and he was like, does anybody know who these 2 girls were? Like, they left before I could talk to them. And then one of our friends followed him and saw that, and he was like, or they were like, yeah, those are my friends. Like, I'll give them your number or whatever. Yeah. And he reached out to us, and he was like, hey, someone that's going on American Idol wants to cut your song. And so we were like, oh, this is so cool. Mm-hmm. And we decided not to let her cut it because we thought we could do something better with it, which now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, we should have had her let...
Did she go far in American Idol?
She got 7th. So it was pretty cool. It was Lacey K. Booth.
Oh. She's a Nashville person, I feel like.
I think so. But this was forever ago, and I think it was just like kind of a passing thing where like she would want to cut it, but I don't know if she would actually cut it or not. But it was just kind of mentioned, so it was pretty cool.
That's funny. In my head, whenever you're talking about like all these people playing their music and you're judging the popularity based on how many people are in these areas listening to these people's music, it's like almost like a chili cook-off in the Midwest. Like, all right, we got 10 pots of chili. Throw $1 in here if this is the one that you want to vote for. Yeah. But at Trevecca, where you went to school, it's like, all right, whichever song you like, go stand over there.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be the best song because they're all standing over there.
Yeah. That's so hilarious. It was really cool because, I mean, people were sitting on steps of different buildings, and you could just see that there's like smaller crowds in different areas. Awesome. But it was really cool for us, just as like that was our very first song that we ever wrote. Yeah. And so it was cool to have like a good group of people listening, and I mean, people would come and bring their cajones and stuff like that, and just try to join in, and it was really cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about like songwriting and all this stuff, would you mind playing a song?
Of course.
Right here. All right. Cool. Heck yeah. And yeah, you can play whatever, but I guess I'm kind of curious about Checkmate or that one you said gets stuck in everybody's head. Either one, can't go wrong. Cool. So which song are you gonna play for us?
I can play Checkmate.
And also, is it hard to play guitar with fancy nails like that? Because I feel like it'd be hard to press down on them.
Definitely is. I got them done the other day, and I told the lady to cut them short.
Yeah.
But they're still not short.
When I get these grown out just a little bit, it's they start hitting the fretboard, and I'm like, how do girls do that?
I mean, I don't. My other guitar that I have, I can't play it. I tried playing it last night during a write, and I was like, nope, I gotta use this one. And but like, I mean, it'll hit the other strings, and
yeah.
But normally I'll go home from the nail salon and start filing my nails down, like, being like, okay, this is where I want it. But also, like, I wear contacts, and I can't get my contacts out with these nails. And so I tell them every time, I'm like, I got to be able to take my contacts out, or else I'm going to be scratching my eye and, like, scratch a cornea or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you'll be fine. I'm like, no, I'm not.
No. This is just like the hey, I'm going to sit here in the room. It's like, no, you're, like... You got to carry a pocket file with you probably to get them things. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to play with long nails, but I've learned how to do it. I think.
Adjusted.
Yeah, but I'm not normally like the guitar player unless
they're bumping your new song. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Going by, bumping the new.
Oh, the bass is good.
How long is he gonna stay? I swear there's an illegal street racing ring running down my street these days.
Really?
I don't know.
It's always in Nashville. I mean, living in Franklin, you get like the quieter cars.
Yeah.
But also
the smart cars.
My neighbor drives a diesel, and I mean, he goes at like 2 a.m. He'll drive by, but he drives so slow. I'm like, pick up the pace. I'm trying to sleep.
Well, and it's suspicious.
Yeah.
It's suspicious when people drive too slow. People who walk with a purpose and people who drive too slow. It's alarming sometimes. Red flag.
Yeah. But my neighbor, I've known him forever, and his sister is one of my best friends. But I'm like, I just want to call him and be like, all right, pick up the pace. Like, drive just a little bit faster. I'm trying to sleep or whatever. Yeah. But great person. But he just got this truck, and he's like trying to show it off a little bit. Yeah. I'm like, I'm glad you like your truck.
He got her tuned up.
Yeah, but great person. But,
heck yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I love trucks.
Really?
I love them. But
So, what's going to be your first truck you purchase whenever you get some money coming in from having a number one song?
So I actually drove a truck as like one of my first cars. It was my brother's truck, and I went to a school that like there were no country people, like high school. I was the only one that was like, oh, I love country music, like it's so cool. And so I was one of the only. There was me and one other truck in the parking lot of my school, and this other truck was like a single cab, and every single day after school 4 guys would cram in there, and I had a Ford F-150 1996 white 4-door. I loved it because it had 2 gas tanks.
Nice. Yep.
I know I didn't have to go to the gas station as often, or like if I would see that like I've got like 2 miles left, I'm like, okay, I could switch it over.
Switch to the other one.
But it's also like there were some times where I was like, oh, I could switch it over, and then I'm like,
Oh,
I don't have any gas in the other one.
That's it.
So
and that thing gets about 6 to 8 miles a gallon. Because my friend Dallas had one of those, and it was.
I love them.
There's no way you could drive that right now without spending a fortune on gas.
Yeah,
God.
they're beautiful trucks. I think I would want one of those. If I were to get another one, but I also like Chevy Silverados.
Cool.
My dad has a 2018. And
nice.
Love that one.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I were to get one right now, it'd probably be the Ford 1996.
Heck yeah.
They're cool.
Yeah.
But
That's
I don't
great.
know. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Which song are you gonna do? You gonna do Checkmate, you said?
Yeah.
And this you're hoping to put this out this summer, or what'd you say?
Hopefully this summer.
Okay.
Trying to get it out there a little bit more. Just so I can get a good streaming on it.
Yeah.
But I'll be posting a little more of a sneak peek and stuff like that.
Okay.
Places.
Since I don't know the song, can I try to guess what it's about just based on the title?
Go for it.
All right, Checkmate. I'm gonna guess it's about 2 people that are playing games with one another, and the person who thinks that they're better at the game is really the one losing, and there's like probably gonna be a cool twist at the end. Is it something like that?
Pretty much. that was pretty spot on.
Really?
I mean, yeah. So we wrote it about kind of cheating. So like the guy's cheating on the girl, and the girl figures it out, and she's doing better without him. She's had a better life since she left him, and like she knew that he was cheating all along, but she's doing better, and he's not doing so hot.
Yeah.
So.
Well, usually when you do bad things, you don't come out on top in the end.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I'm excited to hear this.
All right.
Y'all check it out.
This is Checkmate. Probably should have treated me a little better. Been put down dry ground too many times by no good for nothing, telling too many lies. I ain't gotta read it in the Lord's red letters to know that you thought you had me covered. To me, you're 6 feet under, thinking you're 3 steps ahead, but I've got you right in the palm of my hand. Thought your mistake would leave me drowning in a heartbreak, but I'm getting on, moving on day by day. So guess what? Checkmate. Bet you never would have thought you'd get caught sleeping around, but the grapevine's a little too small in a small town. Travel fast, guess you've been talking, but to me you're a dead man walking. You thought you had me covered. To me you're 6 feet under, thinking you're 3 steps ahead, but I've got you right in the palm of my hand, boy. I bet you thought your mistake would leave me drowning in a heartbreak, but I'm getting gone, moving on day by day. So guess what? Checkmate. not your mistake. Would leave me drowning in a heartbreak, but I'm getting gone, moving on day by day. Guess what? Checkmate.
Yeah, I love that. And I was sitting there trying to watch the whole time that you're playing that song with those long nails. I was like, I still don't get it.
I have to like kind of go sideways with my nails.
It doesn't make sense to my eyes. That's awesome. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
And it's crazy that you have like such a powerful voice coming out of a smaller frame. You know, that's crazy. That's crazy that you can sing that well. So
thank you. Yeah, my TikToks are very different. I post like more quiet songs and like then I was playing around the on Wednesday and I was just kind of thinking, I'm like, yeah, my TikToks are really quiet, and then the songs that I write are like really screaming out and like really going loud, but belting it and stuff like that. But I don't know. A lot of people don't expect that to come out. No,
it's a pleasant surprise.
Well, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Can I play one real quick?
Go for it.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think of one that I have not played on the show yet. Let's see here. Get a little... I probably didn't need this strap. I don't know why I brought it.
I love that strap.
Really?
I need a leather one.
I was going to tell you, by the way, for that guitar not being like one of like the main brands like Gibson and Martin and all, that's like the best sounding guitar.
Well, thank you. I just got it about a month ago. My dad had seen it on like Facebook or something, and he was like, I'm gonna do my research on it. And since my dad owns like a cabinet shop and like works with wood all the time, he was like, seems like it would be a good guitar. And so
plot twist, he actually built it.
he called the owner of this brand and was talking to him, like doing all the research on it, and apparently like the back of the guitar is like some type of Indian wood.
Oh, okay.
And so it's really neat. But he did a lot of research on it, which was cool. But he was like, you get a 30-day trial with it, and he was like, so make sure it sounds good. And Zager Guitars actually makes their own strings and stuff like that.
Really?
And so it's really cool. But it's custom made. But I have the 900 series.
Is it made in like in the U.S.? Is it around here or?
I think so. But I was asking so many people. I was asking them like, have you heard of this before? And like they don't sell it in like Guitar Center or anything like that. And so you have to buy it online, and then they give you a 30-day trial to see if you like it. And they said that it'll sound better after 3 months. So I'm like, I'm interested to see how it'll sound in like 2 more months.
It's kind of like a bottle of whiskey. That first, you may know this already, but I didn't know it till about a year ago. I was talking to this guy who's kind of a bourbon nerd. He was like, yeah, man, the first drink of whiskey, right when you open it, he said that it tastes different at that point than like if you give it 3 weeks or so, because like the air gets to it and it changes the entire makeup of it. So that's how that guitar is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool because I've always thought that like the longer you have a guitar, the better it sounds.
Yeah.
So I was telling my dad, I was like, we're not selling my old guitar. I was like, I want to keep it as long.
And what is it?
It's an Alvarez.
Okay.
So.
Is that the one you learned on?
Yes, kind of. I had like one of those beginner guitars that's a Yamaha.
Yeah.
Had the plastic strings and all of that, but that's kind of what I learned on. And my dad gave it to my little cousin. I'm like, we're not.
Like, she's gonna destroy it.
I was like, we're not gonna let anyone outside of family have it. I was like, I'm not selling it to anybody else. I was like, if she doesn't want it, then I was like, I'll take it back. But I was like, if she wants it to use it like right now, learn on it, then that's great. But like if she doesn't want it anymore,
give it back.
I want it back.
It will not sit in the closet.
I'm like, we need something that we need like to keep all the guitars in the family and kind of have it as like, oh, pass it down, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It means something to you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So this is a song that's going to be on my album that I'm going to put out next year. It's be the last song on the album. It's called Angels Share. My friend Erin Enderlin let me cut it. And she's one of my favorite songwriters in the entire world, and I'm very lucky that she lets me cut songs.
Yeah,
so,
that's great.
Goes like this. There it is. There's a legend about a whiskey, how after some years, some leaves the barrel, leaving nothing but air. From Kentucky to heaven, lifted up like a prayer. They call that portion the angel's share. I guess they need it much more than we do, because even angels have their sorrows too. If that's all we can offer, I guess that's more than fair. Chalk up our losses to the angel's share. Sometimes I swear my heart's made of oak. It's splintered and shattered. It leaks love and hope. When I look at you now, girl, it's so hard to bear. We lost our love to the angel's share. But I guess they need it much more than we do, because even angels have their sorrows too. If that's all we can offer, I guess that's more than fair. Chalk up our losses to the angel's share. And just like the whiskey, I watched it fade. But why should they get the best of the love that we made? Yeah, I guess they need it much more than we do, because even angels, they get lonely too. I hope it brings them comfort, but it don't seem fair. Why do we have to suffer for the angel's share? Why do we have to suffer for the angel's share?
I love that.
Thank you. I haven't played that one in a minute. I didn't know how it was going to go.
I'm the same way. I was like, I played a song the other night that I wrote literally on Tuesday.
Really?
And,
did you have to use your phone?
oh, yeah. I was so nervous. I even messed it up still. I'm like looking at my phone, looking at the lyrics, and I still messed up the lyrics. I was like, I don't know how I'm messing it up still. But
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that was playing before me in the same round, he was like, yeah, I already messed up the lyrics to one of my songs. I'm like, perfect. I'm like, I'm going to mess this up, and I know it. And I was
Thanks for taking the pressure off of me.
I know. I was like, I mean, we all mess up. I was like, bear with me on this one. I literally wrote it yesterday, and it was a good song, but at the same time, like, I had this hook in my mind, and we changed the hook, and so I was like, I had it written down for so long, but I had like the verse and the chorus written, but the hook was different. Like we changed it, and so I was like, okay, I have it stuck in my head, and so I still sang it the way that I had it before, and I was like, nobody noticed because nobody knows the song except for me.
Yeah.
But I like played it off pretty well, so
yeah.
But someone posted it on Instagram. I think it was my mom that posted it, and so I had to like repost it, and I was like, I hope he doesn't see where like I messed up and did my hook.
Yo, who doesn't see the person you wrote it with?
Yeah, I was like, oops.
Oh well. Hey, can I switch the camera batteries out real quick?
Yeah, go
All
for
right,
it.
that one's getting like 1 bar, so.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My stomach is growling and I have no idea why. Like I'm not hungry because I just ate.
Yeah.
I was in a ride like last week, and it was with someone new, and my stomach was growling the whole entire time. I had literally just had food on the drive there.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you hungry?" I was like, "I'm not. I don't know why my stomach's growling." And
then it was probably just like the person coming into the room. It's like, no, we got to pull over and get you something. You're hungry.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. My stomach just does this.
I know. And he was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." But
that's hilarious.
I'm like, I hope you can't hear it in the microphone. Probably can, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's funny. No, we've had a couple good growls in these mics on the show, so you would not be the first one. It's already been broken in, is what I'm saying. So
That's good.
don't worry about it. Plus, I can add some music to that part to keep it,
cool.
Keep it rocking.
Yeah.
So, do you got any cool plans coming up for the rest of the summer, or
I mean,
you're just kind of keeping your head down?
Trying to get some gigs.
Yeah.
I have a lot of rights. I think I have a lot of rights in one day. I'm trying to get as many as I possibly can so that if I were to play gigs at the end of summer, I've got some different songs.
Yeah.
Because I just recently started writing like country music, I think in January maybe.
So it's that new.
It's fairly new for me. I had like my New Year's resolution was to do more with country music, and so I kind of just like jumped into it, and I'm going all in with it, and so I mean, trying to get more gigs, but if I don't, then I'll have other songs, and I'm trying to co-write with a bunch of people, and if they play gigs, hopefully they'll play the songs that I wrote with them. But
yeah, New Year's resolutions are hard. You said that was your New Year's resolution?
Yeah.
Mine was to quit biting my fingernails. And, there's good days and there's bad days. So
put clear nail polish on it. Nobody will know. And it tastes horrible.
I'm gonna get my man card removed here. But yeah, I actually have some on right now.
Really?
Can you see how shiny it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what helped me like stop biting my nails.
Did you get the
Tastes horrible.
Did you get the Mavella, the nail stop? It's clear polish and it tastes absolutely terrible when it touches. Oh my gosh. Like, it's so bad that when you have it on your fingernails, if you're eating a cheeseburger and you put your hands at the very bottom of the cheeseburger and you take a bite up here, you'll still taste it.
Ooh.
Because it's just like, it's everywhere.
Yeah, or
But you won't chew your fingernails, I can promise you that.
something else that works, you put nail polish remover on your nails. You would have to do it like every time you wash your hands, you put nail polish remover on, and it's just the alcohol. It tastes horrible and keeps you from biting your nails. Yeah. But that was my New Year's resolution, like, back in freshman year of high school. But
this year's the year.
Yeah.
And I can tell you're hitting it hard. Like, I respect the fact that you are super, super active on TikTok and are constantly putting stuff out, because I'm the worst. I'm the most inconsistent person when it comes to that. And that's like the number one thing I need to be doing.
I mean,
you show up on my feed all the time.
I just started doing it this past month where I was like, I need to post all the time, because that's what I keep hearing is like, you have to post to like kind of find your algorithm. And I joke around with my parents. I have like a majority of guys following me on TikTok, which is so weird, but I like stalk people's pages because I'm like, I want to see who's watching my stuff. And I get a lot of like country men following me on TikTok. And so I'm like, I'm trying to get the female algorithm, but I'm like, oh well, I mean, if I have a majority of guys, they like my music and stuff like that.
You know something, I feel like something you could do to cater to that even more, this is just an idea, like I don't know anything, but going back to what you were saying earlier, if you posted some like videos of you like building stuff or doing some of the stuff that you're already really good at and passionate about, I think that would actually probably work out really well because guys think that that's cool when women can do that, you know?
Yeah, I posted one video and I laugh about it, but it's like really far down on my page and I really hope nobody like scrolls down and sees it, but I'm like, I don't want to delete it at the same time because I think it's funny, but I'm the only girl that works at my dad's shop, and so when I'm in the shop, I'm like blaring music as loud as I can and like I'm dancing. I do not care. I am horrible at dancing, but like I posted a video. I set my phone up. I was like, I'm just gonna dance, and I was dancing to Drunk and I Don't Want to Go Home, and I was like jumping all over the place, and I love it so much, but I'm the worst dancer ever. But I'm like taping up a cabinet to get ready to paint, and I'm like procrastinating as much as possible. Yeah. But I mean, I tried to like get some videos of me painting, and then I accidentally painted my phone.
Oh, damn.
So I mean, I'll try to like post things of like me in the shop and stuff like that, but then I'm like, it doesn't look great, or like I'll have to take my ring light. Yeah. And like my dad's looking at me. He's like, why?
What are we doing?
He's like, why do you have to do this? I'm like, I'm running your social media page, and I was like, it just looks cool. Yeah. He's like, okay. But I don't know. I feel like since I have a lot of guys follow me on TikTok, I need to post something that's like, oh, I'm working in construction. Yeah. But
be super cool.
I'll go into a bar and people are like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, I do music and construction. And they're like, you do construction? And they'll look at my arms and they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I've got like the tiniest arms, and they're like, can you even pick up a 5-pound weight? I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, I can.
Yeah.
I can move a cabinet by myself. And
yeah. You're like one of those people who can secretly deadlift like 250 pounds, aren't you?
I don't know about that. But like, I don't know. I couldn't pick up a steak knife or like a box of steak knives one time. I worked at a restaurant and I couldn't pick up like a small box of it. But I was like, when I started working for my dad, I'm picking up like cabinets, putting it over my head and everything like that. And people are like, how do you do that?
Well, and a lot of it's about form, you know. Yeah. You've got better form now. You know, back in the steak knife days, you may not have that. So.
For sure.
Allie, where can these people find you?
TikTok, Instagram.
And I'll put it up on the screen. But what's your handle? Whatever it's called.
It's Allie M Holden, ALLIEMHOLDEN.
Okay.
So that's with TikTok and Instagram.
Okay. And do you have a website or anything?
Do not.
Okay.
I don't have any music out right now, but
it's not super. I feel like probably 10 years ago it was like essential to have a website. Mm-hmm. But I feel like nobody even goes to my website.
Yeah, I think if you play shows and stuff like that, and you have like tickets and stuff like that you need to sell or merchandise, websites are great. I learned that in my internship, and but like I don't really play that many shows right now, and I don't have any merchandise. Yeah. But once I do start going, then I'll probably have a website at some point. But right now it's just Instagram and TikTok are my main things. I do post on Facebook, but not very often. Yeah. I'm trying to get better at that too, but
yeah. But well, it's been really, really great talking to you. I'm glad that I got to know you because, to be honest, we were pretty much strangers whenever you first walked in. And I feel bad for her, folks, because when she walked in my house, the way we have the set up, it's like the whole room has to be dark, and then these overhead lights kind of make us have the right shade and the right color and the right amount of light and all that stuff. So she walked into like this really dark house she'd never been into before. So thanks for bearing with me on that part. But yeah, I'm really excited to come watch your next show, whenever that may be, and just keep up with you and your journey.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm really, really glad.
Love your music. And
thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I'm excited to see where you go from here. So, with this has been the Folks Like Us podcast, episode 10. Thanks again, Allie.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next one.
I met a woman about 6'7", caught my eye at the 7-Eleven, buying Jack Link's jerky and a carton of Marlboro Reds.